At this time, I'd like to invite representative of UNICEF, Ms. Sylvie Fouet.
Thank you, Chairman. And all protocol observed, being mindful of the time. Distinguished guests, member of the panel, and member of the media, good evening. Partnering with the University of Guyana on the teen talks, I'm very pleased to be here tonight. You remember you referred to 14, and I'll come to that age. It's a 14 talks. But I'm also pleased with the topic. Juvenile justice, you can hear also sometimes the name of justice for children or young people, includes also a second chance approach, and I'll come to that as well. So yes, there is hope for a better life for the youngest. It usually refers to children or young people in contact with the law, whether they have been victims or they have been witnessing crime or any other element, or whether they suspect, or they also can be actual perpetrators, or whether they may be in contact with the law, for example, on civil matters, for example, adoption. So for UNICEF, really, this area of work is very important, and I'll give you two reasons. We have more, but I'll give you two reasons tonight. On Monday, at the UN General Assembly of New York, there will be a launch of the new Partnership for Youth 2030. And what this is telling us is actually about 60% of the skills of today are not for the job of tomorrow. About a lot of numbers you will see happening. So we can't not look at our second decade. So second decade we look from 10 to 20 plus. We're still in second decade, right? But it's really that age after 10 years old. And a lot of time it's a great opportunity that we know as being mother of teens. But also it can be at very high risks for that age. And that's why it's very important that we promote a partnership around this, an opportunity, and again seen as an opportunity for young people. So on Monday you will see there is a new acronym that's going to come. It's called Generated Unlimited Partnership, which is a global initiative on the young people and gender with the UN General Secretary, but also the UN Envoy for Youth, and then UNICEF is behind. And you will hear about Jane, so keep an eye, and I can share later, but Google, you will find it. So the young people's agenda, it's to looking at new ways and new solutions on how we ensure, every young person will be in school, will be trained, learned, and employed by 2030. That's a high level. I think in Guyana, if I'm not mistaken, about 30% of our youngest are unemployed, if I'm not wrong. So that's a challenge ahead, and you will see when we come later on the discussion, I'm sure our experts know more about this, but about 90% of the children in conflict with the law are out of school. So you can see also the equivalent equation. The second reason, and this is in Guyana, so UNICEF has been pushing or helping, facilitating, have discussion on juvenile justice because it's part of a key component of one of our safe and justice program, if you wish. And as you know, and as you all know, as parents, young people, community leaders, we're not alone, we can't solve this alone, so it has to be also an holistic approach. But in the area of justice in Guyana, maybe we should I would like to highlight 3 milestones that have been, probably will be part of the conversation, but since I've been landing in Guyana, I may say I could observe a very important, and I should commend some very important milestones have been achieved. The first one is being the Juvenile Justice Bill, so the Act has been passed, has been budgeted, I understand, so that's also good. And why is important? Because in the new Act, it has few elements that are critical for the youngest. One is changing the age of being criminally responsible, and I know our expert can explain very good, but from 10 to 14. And that gives also protection for children, below the age of 14, because the age of 10 to 14 is a very difficult way of answering and encountering the society when you're below 14. It promotes the use of detention as the last resort. And I think that's key. Now you need to find solution, Minister of the team, because that's, it's in the law, so it's possible. It also prohibits the use of corporal punishment. That's also something, and also using alternative to sentencing. And of course the law is there, but the solution has to be observed. And it also gives legal aid for children. I hope this is in the bill, and this is in the budget, because I know and I have few cases that has been actually helping. Also, critical has been to deal with cases. Sometimes they, in transit, and that solution has been found. So in partnering with the Minister of Public Security and his team, we have supported the drafting, the costing of the bill, but now we do hope to see it implemented. And then one of the, another milestone to come is the youth court to be established soon. And I see the Chancellor, the Chief of Justice, I know you're working on it. You may talk about later. The second milestone has been, and you mentioned earlier in the report, the Sexual Offences Act has been also passed, not this year, but a few years ago. But the Sexual Offences Court has been initiated in 2018, and that's why you see, sometimes in the reports we have to be careful with the data. Maybe we see more data reported and more cases being dealt with, so it's good news. Doesn't mean it's increasing in number, but it's more visible. So we have just to be cautious of that. So the court has been established, is child-friendly, and I understand functional. And the last one maybe has been the reform that has been undertaken under the NOC, so you will heard about it, which is the New Opportunity Court, and in short term is the where children are detained, so it's children in detention. But tonight I'm very pleased to have Stephan with us, and he's one of the youngest men that he will share later his story, so I don't want to tell all, but what I understand, sometimes we look at accountability on our youth, but we also need to have room for second chance. And so we're very proud of you, Stephan. In data, I don't want to bother too much, but children in detention in Guyana, the average is actually in NOC, the age is 14. It's quite young. It tells us you get 10 to 18 probably, that's the average. So that's really, something that, again, we need to find solutions, but also prevention. So I'm sure the panel will discuss. You may see also new issues coming, like the issue of drugs in school. And that's something pupils and children will, or youth will come into law for drug offenses, whether it's use of trafficking. And that's not to be undermined as parents. So the holistic approach will not be a criminal justice response, I mentioned earlier, but it has to be combined with an education response and also a family network and support. So allow me to thank you on behalf of Professor Griffiths, but you represented the University of Guyana, so thank you for the invitation. I also would like to congratulate Professor Mohammed and his team, and her team, for very stimulating settings tonight. I wish the discussion to be provocative, fruitful, dynamic, to move the agenda ahead and really build on the key milestones we have mentioned earlier, joining forces, creating what means really a youth-friendly environment for our youngest, and including in contact with the law. I thank you very much.